Hi everyone, this is Melinda Everett from Stampin' Up. Today I'm going to show you how to make this layout. This is my first layout that I've made with Stampin' Up paper. It's a lot brighter than what I'm used to, and so what I chose to do was take little pieces of it so that it doesn't overpower the whole layout. It's a pretty strong layout anyway. I've used the Simply Zinnia dies. I did not use any of the stamping, and then I did my own journaling with my writing so my family can go back later and look at it. Now I want to tell you the story behind these pictures. This is my 7-year-old grandson, Cristiano, and this is his little brother, Salvatore, who is 4 years old. And Cristiano had taken a class in his, I think it was kindergarten class. They had done a whole section on botany and they grew sunflowers. So he came home and he had 5 sunflowers planted in a little pot, put it out in the backyard. Turns out they have a wild bunny, and the wild bunny ate the tops off of all of the plants, and Cristiano was just so upset. So his father went out and bought him more seeds. So he planted them. And this is, I don't know what kind of sunflower it is, but it's more like a vine. And so it's growing really well. Well, the family came out for his brother's graduation from the University of Florida. And while we were there, Cristiano decided that we each needed to get 1 seed. We had 1 seed, that's it. And we had to go home and we had to grow this seed. And it was so funny because he kept telling us that it takes 40 days, and his little brother was parroting him, 40 days, you water, 40 days. And so we had to do FaceTime once a week to check in and show him that we were worthy of his trust on his flowers. So this is his, and you can see it's a beautiful flower. This one's mine and my husband's. And we have, you can't see them, but there's about 4 more other blooms there. And Cristiano gave me his sign of approval there. This is my daughter's, which is his aunt Elena and her husband Barry's. Their sunflower, and it hadn't bloomed yet. And so Cristiano's been a little concerned that she didn't plant it right. So I went and I did this layout with these pictures in mind. This right here is a paper crafting inlay technique. I have prep movies for all of these elements, showing you how to put the flowers together. I don't think I did the leaves, but they're real easy. You just cut them and then you put the veins on top. Did the little bitty dots with the enamel. And then with this one over here, I showed how to stamp, put little dots in with the black marking pen. And this is relatively new to me. And this is the first one I've done, so that's how easy it is. And it's with Cricut, and it's their sticker. They have a button now for stickers. I think you may have to have access in order to do it. But I picked a graphic that I wanted, and actually this one, it was just a frame and I added the other elements. I don't have a video up for that yet, but I will soon. And I'll show you how to do it, and it's really cool because I can cut and print it on cardstock and then bring it back to my Cricut and it will cut it. So that came out really good. And then I've got on my, I don't think I said in the video, I have Wink of Stella on the center of the flowers. So here you go, and I'm gonna now show you how to put this together. Thank you. Start off with a piece of 11" by 11" basic white cardstock. I'm going to apply adhesive along the bottom of this piece of cardstock up to about 5 inches. This way I can just put the strips, the 1" by 4" strips of DSP, which is our pattern paper, and the cardstock just along the bottom without having to apply tape to each piece of paper. So I'm going to It's all ready to go, and I'm starting to pick up. These are 1 inch by 4 inch, and this is the left side, so we'll start with that. Both sides are done the same way, just with different strips, but they're all the same size. So I'm adding all those on. It's not exactly, I want to butt them up against each other, and I want them even along the bottom. And so my ATG tape is sticky enough that if I need to pick one up and just kind of reposition it, the tape is still sticky enough to hold my paper down. So see how fast I can go? Just adding those 1 inch by 4 inch. And then I'm going to get to the last one, and it's a little bit bigger than my piece of paper. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it down, and then the overhang, I'm going to pick up the cardstock and cut it even. I've always found it's real easy to do this because your scissor rests up against that cardstock, and it's just real easy to get a nice cut. Okay, so I'm going to pick up that 3/8 of an inch by 11 piece of basic white that I stamped, and I'm going to apply it to right on above the 1 inch by 4 inch. And now I'm going to take the 3/4 of an inch by 11 inch piece of diagonal DSP. And then I'm going to top that off with a 1/4 inch by 11 inch pumpkin pie with the lemon lolly stamps. And then I'm going to cut those even so that they're even on the side. So there you go. Isn't that pretty? Nice and bright. Very, very bright paper. I'm using little pieces of it so that it doesn't overpower you. Now I'm going to put in the 2.5 inch by 11 inch Daffodil Delight cardstock, and that's going to go right up against that the star one. And I think it's going to be a little bit long, so I'm going to go ahead and trim it before I put it on. There we go. That's even. So now you see I've got these pieces right here. They go on the side. So we've got 2 of them are 1/2 inch by 6 inch, and that one's 3/4 by 7 inch. And they're just going to fan out like that. I'm also going to have, I cut these on the Cricut. Any kind of scallop would work. I think I cut 9 inches, but I divided them up into 3 pieces because I don't really need to go across. If you want to cut 11 inch, go ahead and do that. But I basically want one on each end, and then I want one in the middle, and that's going to show up on the each side of the pictures. If you want to do 11 inch, you can just go across. Just going to make it even. I want them to look kind of the same on both ends, both sides. So here we go. And you'll see if I've got any adhesive stuck up, I just stick my nail between the little scallops, and I can push them back in. Now I'm going to take these pieces, and there's no right or wrong reason or right or wrong way to do this. Just do it the way you like, the way it looks good to you. They're just going to peek out on the sides of the pictures, and they just add a little more interest. They draw your eyes into where the pictures are. There we go. Okay, so here I put my Stampin Dimensionals. This is the Cricut cut. And I'm going to, first of all, I'm going to apply adhesive to the back of my 11 by 11 sheet. And I'm going to frame it on that 12 inch by 12 inch Melon Mambo cardstock. So I want it in the center. There we go. I'm pretty happy with that. Now I'm going to place those where I like them. The picture is not popped up, it's just adhered. It's going to cover up where the scallops don't show, and I want it straight, and it's going to go over those strips like that. Now the Cricut cut I popped up with our Stampin Dimensionals. I'm going to take all of the backings off, and I'm going to kind of place it right like that. It's kind of centered on the right in the top. So now I'm going to put the flowers on Each of the large flowers have the mini glue dots on them. I already put them there so that I could save some time. And I'm going to use the mini Stampin Dimensionals for the blooms, just the little tiny blooms. I like a little more dimension in my scrapbooking, so they stand out a little better. I'm going to use our liquid glue with the fine tip to put the leaves down. You don't want any of that seeping out, so just put enough in the middle that it'll hold it. It kind of discolors the paper where it seeps out, and I don't like that. So I like to only use what I need that I put in the middle. Be sure and put the top back on soon, because if you don't, it'll stop up. That's a really thin tip there. So I'm putting each of these down. Once I get the flowers and everything that's under the big flower down, I'm going to take the backing off the mini glue dots, and I'm going to put it where I like it. So there you go, got that one up. Then I've got this little, got one more leaf to put. I don't want any of my leaves hanging off of the layout. So I'm going to move it so it goes right up to the edge but doesn't hang over. And then I've got one more flower to do. There we go. Yeah. And I didn't put a mini dimensional on there. I'm just going to let it just kind of sit there because it's going to be a bright sunshiny day. It's already popped up. So now I'm working on the top left side. I don't want to hide those strips, but I don't mind overlapping. I'm using our Cricut tool to pull. I've already adhered that photo placemat, and I'm pulling it up so that I can get that behind there. Yeah, and then I kind of see where I'm going to like. I put the flower down so I can see where to place the rest of my elements. See, I just get the middle of it with that and put those down. Yeah, and then I've just going to use one of those mini dimensionals on the back of that flower. Don't put glue, don't apply glue to your elements. I do this, and I'm sorry every time. Don't do it on top of your layout. Try to pull it off the layout. Otherwise, if it comes off, it'll go onto your layout, and you don't really want that. So try to apply it off to the side. There we go. I like where everything looks. Now I'm going to get, these are really cool. They're adhesive back texture dots, and they're kind of like a bronze look. So they don't add any more color, but I like the bronze look with these colors. These colors are just so bright. They don't need any more bright. I think the bronze makes them pop. And see what I kind of do, I use that Cricut tool and I move it where I want it and then push it off the sheet. Okay, so now we're going to the second layout. And you're going to see that I'm going to do this the right side. I'm going to do exactly what I did before. These layouts, other than the pictures, are pretty much exactly alike. They just have different pictures and different size pictures. The pictures on these are 2 3/4 by, I think it's 5, let me look, by 4 3/4. So they're 2 3/4 by 4 3/4, and then they're matted. It's kind of an odd size. So you're not going to want to take your pictures and zoom right up to them. You're going to want to get pictures that you pulled back a little bit and you can crop, and they are portrait, not landscape. So I'm doing what I did before. I'm putting the little strips there. There we go. And once again, this time I've decided instead of cutting them all off each time I put them on, if they hang off, I'm going to wait till I get them all up. It's a little bit faster. Same stamped image there. I like to add the extra tape before I get to that element. I don't want to get right on top of it because it'll you'll see it on the piece that's already down. Since I'm already going to normally I wouldn't, the top most piece I would probably apply adhesive to it like I'm doing with this daffodil yellow one, but I am going to go ahead, since I'm covering it with the daffodil, I can go right up to it. So now I'm cutting off the sides. There we go, and we're ready to go. There we go. So we're all even now on the left side. I'm going to go ahead and put this down on the Melon Mambo 12-inch by 12-inch piece of cardstock. I like to put a little adhesive in the middle because we live in the South, and sometimes the humidity will get up under my layouts and will cause them to kind of poof up a little bit, and I don't want them to poof up. So this time I have 4 pieces of scalloped because I need 4 pieces, 2 between on either side of the middle photo, and then 1 each on the left and right hand side of the left and right hand pictures. So I'm going to put these down. And you don't need much, you just have to put it in the right place. If you're going to cut them up, you want to make sure that you're actually hitting where you want it. Otherwise, you can do an 11-inch piece of scallop, and any scallop will work. Cricut has a bunch of them. Okay, I have those in place. This is a print and cut, and I am going to, and I did it like a sticker, so I'm going to go back at a later time and show you how to make those. This particular paper pack didn't have any stickers, and I wanted something that looked like a sticker. So each of these are popped up. I've used our regular dimensionals. So I'm going to pull all those off. Not showing you that I'm pulling them off, but I am trying to make this so it's not super long. So there we go. I've got my 3, and I do everything by sight. Absolutely. So I'm going to pull out my flowers again. And I'm doing the one at the left middle. Left middle on the left side. Go ahead. Now see, this is what you should not do. Do not apply your glue sitting on your layout. Yeah, you don't want to do that. I think this is where I make a mistake. I'm going to use that mini dimensional again. And see, it's really bad to be doing it there because, yep, see what I did? I got it on that piece of daffodil yellow. And so now I've got our Daffodil Delight. And so I rubbed it off, and it looks like I got to it quick enough. But if I had noticed, it would have really left a mark on that paper. So I'm putting these all in. I'm trying to make sure that most of my words on that strip that I stamped are showing. And this time I did move my layout. Yeah, there we go. Okay, I hold it for a second just to make sure that it makes contact and it sticks to it before I go to the next one. I don't want it to pop up. So here I'm going to kind of pop up that middle, that big flower, the middle of it, because I don't want it leaning and it's up against that picture that's already popped up. So now I've got my sticker that I made. Put it down, and I'm ready for the next flower. Okay, getting the glue where it belongs. Okay, as you can see, I've already finished some of this layout. I've already embellished some of it. What happened was I did not realize that my camera was going to shut off. It was going to overheat. So I went ahead and finished, and then saw that I hadn't recorded. So I've gone back, I pulled off as much as I could that didn't have liquid adhesive, and we're starting back over again on that, what you would have missed. So I'm embellishing it. I put the little flowers up at the top. I've put the little adhesive dots, the etched dots on top of them. I'm putting all of these on real quick. And the leaves I had to leave, so it's pretty much like the other side. Getting all those in. There we go. And then I'm going to put these dots. Isn't that pretty? Those dots really add something to it. You can use the larger ones if you want. There we go. Thank you so much.